have a mix of different vendors. You have Cisco in there. You might have Cisco in there. You might have Microsoft in there and other security players. But the goal of these security solutions is to help secure your business from current and future threats out there, right? Whether it's on-premise or in the cloud. So that's why we have designed this deck we're not talking about products specifically. So if you look through it, there's no specific talk about products. Most what we're looking at is controls. So we're going to start with taking into account, for example, in the office, right, or you manage office location, what are kind of controls you should have, right? So if you see there, right, we are looking at application network gateway, right, network access control for the campus, which also ties into the SASE and zero trust architecture, right? So you're looking at a next generation firewall, IPS, threat mitigation, profiling, security analytics, and logging. So all these controls we have listed in the office, right? These are the security controls you should have from your security solution, Cisco or non-Cisco, right? So if you are, and latest here is ZTNA. So ZTNA is the future of remote access, right? Current remote access is network based, right? So you do a VPN, you have a VPN concentrator, you have to you have to use a remote client to log into the VPN concentrator, and what it gives you access is network based access, which is IP based access, right? Which does not, and with IP based access, you potentially have access to the whole internal network. But the industry has come up with zero trust network access, or we call it zero trust access, and this grants access from an application. Now, the way this works is, if from a compatible application, you can do a reverse proxy from that application, and users connect directly to the application. What's the advantage you have here is you are able to control who has access per time, and you're able to hide or other applications in your network that the user doesn't have access to become hidden. The user cannot even, is not even aware, because what happens is if the user only has access to two applications, SAP and another ERP solution, right? Those are the two solutions the user will have when he's trying to access from a zero trust network access perspective. So that's the next stage from VPN technology. Now, not all solutions support the zero trust access codes, because zero trust access not codes. Protocols, right? Because we're using quick protocol, we're using some other new protocols that some modern applications might not support, but I believe for most organizations, they will have a mix, right? Some applications will support zero trust network access, some applications might not support it. But in the future, in the long term, we believe most customers will move, the applications will be able to support these protocols, and then you can have zero trust network access and ensure that at least your remote access has zero trust controls in there. So for most organizations, most modern enterprises, you're going to have a mix, right? It's going to have you still have to do traditional VPN, which is network based, and then you can now start exploring application based remote access with zero trust network access. We're also looking at encrypted visibility. There's a report by Google a couple of years ago, actually, about 4 years ago, that over 90% of internet traffic is encrypted, right? And organizations need to know, especially need to be able to see inside this encrypted traffic to be sure where these what kind of communication is going on, especially on your network with your corporate devices. So you need a solution that is able to look inside encrypted traffic and is able to show you what is going on in that encrypted traffic. We have these solutions. We have a very unique solution in our firewall called the encrypted visibility engine. It's in our firewalls, it's in our web proxies, whereby we're able to look inside encrypted traffic without necessarily decrypting it. Right, I know it might sound like science fiction, right? But one of the basics or the technical bits behind it is when you look at encrypted traffic, because of our length of experience, right, on the networking side, right, we've been able to use machine learning, use AI to identify the kind of traffic, right, even though it's encrypted, because every encrypted traffic has a pattern. So I'll tell customers, encrypted YouTube, right, there's a way it looks like, there's a way the packet looks when you're doing packet inspection. encrypted WhatsApp has a look, encrypted email, encrypted file transfer, right? So what we are able to do with encrypted visibility engine is to help you identify the interesting traffic that you want to actually decrypt. So we're able to say, okay, this is when we see a pattern of traffic or pattern of traffic and tell this is encrypted YouTube. Technically, most organizations don't decrypt YouTube, right? Most enterprises do not decrypt YouTube. Either allow it or you block it. So one of the things, what that does is it ensures that if you're using your proxy or using your firewall to decrypt traffic, you can reduce the amount of traffic your device has to decrypt, right? Because what I've seen some organizations do is either they decrypt everything or they just allow everything to pass through. And both solutions are not scalable. So what we are proposing is with our encrypted visibility engine, our firewalls are able to tell you what is the interesting traffic that you need to decrypt. It makes your solution, your equipment perform better, right? And then it also gives you more control over your user traffic, especially internet bound traffic. All right, so that is on the I know I didn't mention that we're not going to talk about security products, but just permit me. So in the office, in the managed location, so some of the controls, some of the solutions we have we have the Catalyst Center from a networking perspective. We have ICE, which is our NAC, which is one of the leading network access control solutions in the industry. We have our Meraki portfolio, which Theodore was going to talk about. There's a firewall I've mentioned. Secure Network Analytics is our network detection and response solution, right? Where we do behavioral-based behavioral-based detection, right? Because the newest attacks are the most sophisticated attacks we have seen are behavioral-based, right? Behavioral-based, for those who might not be too technical, simply means that we are looking at patterns, right? We're identifying patterns of network traffic, and then we are flagging when something is anomalous, right? And I'll give you a very good example why behavioral-based protection is very key. For insider-based threats, so an insider-based threat is when you have someone in your network who is supposed to be there, who has the credentials to be there, who has the access to whatever it is. Let's say an admin, network admin, right? Most of your security controls will not be able to catch this user because this user is using legit credentials to log in, right? So it's not somebody that's coming from outside. And most security controls are outside facing, right? For something like network analytics is inside facing. So we can do stuff like if we see a user, an admin logging into a device at an odd hour, right? Or moving higher values of data. We're probably doing data transfer from a core switch to his personal device, right? That is anomalous, right? Because it's not supposed to do that. Now, most security controls will not catch that because that user is supposed to be there. So these are one of the use cases for network analytics. And it also helps even with ransomware because ransomware is very noisy, right? So once files start encrypting, right, it's able to see that, okay, there's a lot of noise on the network because it's going to go either above or beyond the baseline, and then you're able to carry out some certain actions. Then we also have the secure web appliance, which is our proxy. We have the on-prem proxy, and we have the cloud-based proxy. We see most users are leaning more towards the cloud-based proxy because of work from home, thanks to COVID, right? Because they also want to be able to proxy traffic of users when they are not on the network, which most on-prem proxies cannot do. You have to